Good evening from the kitchen, folks. It's another experimental day in home brewing. Today I'm going to have a go at making a lemon turbo cider. So today's key ingredients are apple juice from concentrate, which basically contains apple juice from concentrate, no harmful additives, and then this stuff called Limopani. Limopani now, Limopani, Limopani. That's not the advert, but I've got that stuck in my head. It's like an earbug. As soon as I read the word, it was there. In my lip up fatty reggae. Right tune. Anyway, this wasn't £3.99. I bought this from Barry's Bargains in Concert, County Durham, for £1. Let's see what happens. It weighs 800 grams and you've got 95 grams of sugar per 100 grams. I'm going to put half of this in there, so I should get a very lemony drink. So as it's the turbo cider method, it's nice and straightforward. Pour my apple juice into a demijohn via a funnel. So I'm going to go 1 litre of juice, and then I'm going to follow that up with some Limopani. Limopani now, honestly, it's stuck in my head. I can't believe it. I'm going to be going out tonight singing it. So I can't work out where it's come from. There's about 10 different countries on the labels. There's languages, Arabic, Eastern European, all sorts on here. But it's a lemon drink. You add it to water. It's powder that you add to water. I can't see it containing anything which is remotely healthy, but who knows? Someone's going to tell me it's a wonder thing probably. I've asked if any of the ingredients are going to be harmful to the brew process and been told no. So if they are, then I'm blaming people in the Homebrew UK group. But I'm sure they're all right because they're a very knowledgeable lot. Right, so Limopani now, Limopani, Limopani. I've got to sing the song as you pour it in. So I'm going to put about half of this in and it should dissolve in the juice. Look at the cloud. It's like being in a crack den, a lemon crack den. Right. Honestly, I feel like Breaking Bad using this stuff. I think I'll go for a chicken afterwards at Los Polos Hermanos. Mind you, I better call Saul before I go. Right, so just waiting for this to dissolve and the apple to fall through. Won't be long. There we go. Limopani now, Limopani. Stop it. So I'm quite interested in the lemon flavour. I keep reading about skeeter pea, which I've not made yet, but I will do one day. But I'm wondering if this is going to be quite reminiscent of it. It's making me think about that alcopop called Hooch. You remember that? That was, no, there was Two Dogs actually before that, Two Dogs Lemonade. I had Two Dogs Lemonade for the first time in Adelaide, Australia in 1994, and it blew my mind. Alcoholic lemonade. How can that be a thing? When you're from Barnsley, you've got limited horizons, you know, in 1994. They've caught up these days, they've got all sorts, Smirnoff Ice and VKs too. And don't get me started on castaways. Right. Okay, I've got about halfway down there, so there's about 400 grams of sugary lemonness gone in. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm now going to continue to add the apple juice on top. It'll all start to flood through again in a second. There we go. So I'll get the rest of this apple juice now squirted around the funnel to get any traces of Limopani off. Limopani now, Limopani. So I'm just going to top the demijohn all the way up. I know I'm going to overfill it, I don't care. I'm a great believer in the blow-off pipe if the airlock fails. Not bothered. Let's get this into my hydrometer tube. And I've got a little bit of room in top for the Krausen, not much, but it doesn't matter. We're starting off with a very healthy original gravity. And the starting gravity, the original gravity for this brew is 1.070. 1070. Could turn out to be rocket fuel. Right, I need to get my yeast in next. I'm using Lalvin EC1118 champagne, sparkling wine and cider yeast. I'm going to add 1 heaped teaspoonful, and I'm going to follow that with about another 1/3 of a teaspoonful. All in. So the yeast should get pretty excited at the high sugar content. I'm just going to give it a little agitation so it mixes. Well, I might as well sing the song while I do it, can't I? Limopani now, Limopani, Limopani. Come on, you're going to get this song stuck in your head by the end of this video, I promise. And there we go. I seem to have misplaced an airlock. It's probably in the dishwasher. So I'm starting with a blow-off pipe, which is just going to go into that bottle of water there. So when fermentation begins, and I can already see a rim of bubbles, which means that the yeast is immediately enjoying itself, as it should be, that it will create CO2, and that will just come through the tube and pop away in that bottle. So I'll probably just do another short film after this segment to show you that fermentation has begun and give you an idea of how long it took. But then the next main part of the film will either be clearing or bottling in about a month's time. So I'll see you then, folks. Okay, quick update. As I said, within 10 minutes the krausen had formed, and within 30 minutes bubbles were coming through the blow-off pipe. This is going to be a good fast fermenter. Catch you next time. Good evening from the kitchen, folks. It's apple and lemon cider bottling night. Yes, bottling night, not clearing night. I've decided I'm going to go with a cloudy cider. So it's been in the demijohn for 7 weeks. It's stopped fermenting, but there is some ugly trub on top and there's a bit of sediment in the bottom. So I'm going to have to use a funnel and a filter in order for that not to go into the bottles. I don't mind it being a cloudy cider, kind of like a lemon cloudy cider makes me think of the Alcopop hooch or something like that. So I'm fine with that. And also there is actually, you can't tell at night time, but there is a little bit of opaqueness to it. And I think in the glass it won't look too bad at all. So I'm going to go with it as is. So in order to give my apple and lemon cider a bit of a sparkle, I need to prime the bottles. I usually use sugar or carbon sugar, but because the Limopani is almost all sugar, I'm just going to use that instead. So I'm going to put a full one of those in, which represents a very generous heaped teaspoon, and then probably sort of another half-ish as well also into each 750ml bottle. Bung out, siphoning tube in. I'm holding the tube in place with this clip. The bottom of the tube is into the sediment. The first bit that comes out will be sedimenty, but that's going to go into the hydrometer jar. So let's do it. Oh, that went everywhere. And then into the first bottle. Smells very cidery. Always a good sign. So far avoided the ugly trub. And I've got cider on my glasses. Never mind. And into the second bottle. Nice bit of reaction to the Limopani in the top of that one there. That's a good sign for carbon. Well, so far so good. Seems to be coming through nicely. So I'm on the last bottle now. Don't know if I'm going to have enough to fill it, but if I don't, I can probably use what's in the hydrometer jar. I don't normally because of cross-contamination. but I think I'd risk it. It's only one bottle. Plus I've overfilled the other bottles slightly so I can nick a little bit out of each one. I'm not far off. Okay, this is going to stop any second now. I'm getting a bit of trub in there, but the filter's doing a job. And that's it, bubbles in the siphoning tube. Tell me that this process is over. Yeah, that one is going to need topping up, but I think I can do it. So I need to take the final gravity of this brew, and that sank very nicely. So I want a final gravity of 0.996. So it's time to work out the final alcohol by volume using the original gravity and the final gravity. So I take the original gravity of 1.070. I deduct from that the final gravity of 0.996. That equals 0.074. And then I multiply this by 131.25. And this gives me a final ABV of 9.7%, which is a good, strong cider. So in this goes. Like I say, I wouldn't normally do this, but if it spoils it, it's only one bottle. Okay, after a bit of mixing and pouring around, I've now got 6 bottles, which I'm satisfied are full enough. So I'm going to put stoppers in these ones and then crown caps on those 2 at the back. So I've had my bungs softening in hot water, very hot water. It makes them more malleable because they can be quite challenging sometimes to get in, although 3 out of 4 of these bottles have got nice wide necks. So that went in quite lovely. Boosh. I'm just putting cages on these now to secure them in place, which if I don't put these cages on, it will eject the bung out the top. It's really good fun. I've seen it happen. You learn by brewing. Okay, crown caps. Okay, I'm using this thing, which looks like somewhere in between Space Invaders and Predator, or Alien or something. But yeah, the cap goes in there, bottle in there, and hopefully when I push the levers down, the magic happens. It doesn't always work. I've got my bottle down in the sink because it's easier to do it downwards, and I'm standing it on a non-slip mat because quite often the bottles slip as you're doing it. It's my least favourite job, this. Let's see what happens. And you know, that has gone down like a dream. That is one capped bottle. Some bottles are better than others for doing this. This is evidently a good one. Oh, that's gone. And again, another lovely seal. Capped. I'm now just going to rinse all my bottles in the sink because they've got sticky cider residue on them. I've got my labels made up using a simple template on Microsoft Word. Just going to print these off. I've got labels printed, bottles dried. So now I just need to put these together. I'll try and do it as neat as I can. I like to take some pride in my bottles. And there they are. Welcome to the conservatory, folks. It's a south-facing conservatory, which gets nice and warm in summertime. As you can see, I use it as a greenhouse. I'm going to be conditioning my lemon cider in here in this box. And the conditioning process is what will eventually lead it to being a sparkling cider. So that's giving it time for the yeast to eat the sugar and for it to mature and hopefully be a nice sparkling cider. There you go. So that's out of direct sunlight. So that's fine for it to just stand in here now. And it's going to condition in here for at least 2 weeks before I open the first one. So I'll catch you in a couple of weeks' time when it comes to tasting. So I'll see you then. Good evening from the kitchen, folks. It's my apple and lemon cider made with Limopani. Limopani now, Limopani, Limopani. You know the one. Yeah. Anyway, is it going to be any good? Is it going to taste nice? Is it going to look all right? Is it going to have a fizz? I don't know. I'm looking at the bung and it hasn't risen at all. I think this might be a flat cider, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but when you set out to make a sparkler and you want it to be a sparkler really, I carbed it, if you remember, with Limopani rather than sugar, and maybe I should have carbed it with sugar. Let's see what happens. Am I going to get a pop? Little bit of a pop. Am I going to get any fizz? Okay, right. Yeah, there's something going on there. Mild. Right. It's not fizzy. There was no head when I poured that. Oh, it smells nice. Lemony. Wow. It's like sucking a very sweet lemon. It's nice. It's got a really delicate effervescence. It's a mild effervescence. It's not a sparkler. I should have put sugar in really, I think, instead of trying to carb it with Limopani. Never mind. It's been in the bottle actually for 6 weeks. So maybe if I'd left it for a bit longer, it might have been better. Who knows? Anyway, I'm not disappointed because it actually does taste nice and it has got a very mild sparkle. So there you go. Bottoms up, kids. See you next time. I'll catch you on the next brew. Cheers. Hiya folks, I've got a Limopani update. I've just opened one. Look at it! It hadn't carbed before. Bottled on the 12th of July. It's now the 4th of October. Flipping heck. It went off like a rocket when I took the top off. I mean, I've lost that much. So it just needed longer to carb. A lot longer to carb, but it has carbed. So I've got my Adel Beer Festival glass. Let's have a look what this looks like. Oh, flipping heck, look at that. That's absolutely spot on. So if you're carbing with Limopani, you need to leave it 3 months. And that's what you get. Smells fine. Sounds good. Wow. Gosh, that flavour has really matured. It's almost like a lemony ginger beer. Not expecting that at all. That is really good. Very drinkable. Somewhere in between medium and medium dry. Not quite medium, but a lot of flavour, a lot of really good sort of fruitiness to it. It works. You've just got to leave it a long time. Limopani, get yourself to Baddy's Bargain Superstore in concert. He doesn't sponsor me, but he bloody should. Right, cheers folks. Good health to you. The film that you've just watched is a Moss Home and Garden production. You can find more by going to www.mosshomeandgarden.co.uk. I'd just like to say thank you very much for supporting my YouTube channel and for watching my films. It really is very much appreciated. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel in order to receive future updates about the home and garden films which I upload. You can find my YouTube channel by going to www.mosshomeandgarden.co.uk. please click on the red subscribe button. When you've done that, a little bell will appear. If you press that also, then you'll get future updates about the films which I upload. If you like my films, if you like my style of filming, then you might also like my travel channel, which you will find by going to youtube.com/Stuart Moss or type in www.mosstravel.tv. Again, if you could subscribe to that channel, it would be hugely appreciated. If you'd like to get Moss Home and Garden updates on Facebook, then please open Facebook and do a search for Moss Home and Garden, and you will find the page. If you like the page, then you will get future updates on there. And if you'd like to connect on Instagram for home, garden and travel photography, as well as some stories, then my username is StuMoss, STUMOSS. If you'd like to connect on Twitter, then my username is @StuartMoss. And if you'd like to contact me about film usage or any other issue, please just email me on stewmosshomegarden@gmail.com. Once again, thank you very much for supporting my channel, for watching my films. I do appreciate it. I'd just like you all to have a great day.